Andrew Cashner is looking forward to erasing a disappointing 2015 and getting back on track this season.
Last year was the toughest season I've ever had as a baseball player. I'm ready to prove a lot of people wrong.
You don't mess with Texas. Sometimes you have to go through failure to get better.
Swing and a miss. Nice pitch from Andrew Cashner.
A lot of things that we might shock some people on this year.
Welcome to Peoria, Arizona, and the Peoria Sports Complex as the Cactus League schedule continues. It's another beautiful afternoon in Arizona. The Cleveland Indians are here to take on the San Diego Padres. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, joined by Mark Sweeney. Today, as mentioned, Andrew Cashner will be on the mound today for the Padres, certainly looking to bounce back after a 6-16 year last year.
Well, you heard Andrew Cashner say you have to go through failures to get better. That's what he expects in 2016. Do you look at 2015? Career high in starts with 31, also career high in innings. So the stuff was definitely there. Everyone throughout the league knows that the ability is there as well. He's got all the repertoire to be a successful pitcher. This year, he is poised to have a bounce-back year, and I look for big things for Andrew Cashner.
Should be fun to watch today, going a little deeper into today's outing as they start to stretch out the starters right now in Padres spring training. The Cleveland Indians are here, and the first pitch is coming your way next. Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Harrah's, your first resort for fun. By Kaiser Permanente, Thrive. And by Petco, what we feed them matters. Welcome back to Arizona. Beautiful day. The cactus is everywhere here in Arizona, and a good crowd on hand here for day baseball. The Cleveland Indians are here, and let's check out their starting nine today. Jose Ramirez at second base leading it off. Former Padre Will Venable will be in center field for the Indians. Robbie Grossman in right field bats third. Jesus Aguilar at first base in the cleanup spot with Roberto Perez doing the catching. James Ramsey is the DH. Giovanni Urshela at third base bats seventh. Shane Robinson, the former Minnesota Twin, in left field bats eighth, and Eric Gonzalez at shortstop rounds out the starting nine.
Well, scouting report for the big Texan, the right-hander Andrew Cashner. Last year, he wants to wipe the slate clean, and how he does that, to go back to the field, especially that knuckle curveball, the slider, changeup that he goes along with it, but establishing the fastball down in the strike zone. How he's going to do that, get on top of the baseball a little bit more, as pitching coach Darren Balsley told me.
I was taking a look at a lot of his numbers from a year ago, and certainly, I guess, his record 6-16, not indicative, perhaps, the way he pitched. If you look at the number of unearned runs, 22 unearned runs, that led the National League, and that's a pretty impressive number.
Yeah, Don, you think of the offense didn't support him, the defense at times didn't support him, but mentally, off the field, on the field, really snowballed him on him a little bit, but poised to have a bounce-back year.
Ramirez leading it off here for the Indians. Will carve this foul back and out of play. But I guess it's a part of mental toughness, and as he matures as a pitcher as well, that'll come with it, and trying to not react after some errors are made behind you and get out of some of those jams and pick up your teammates.
Yeah, I think it's very important for him mentally to get into that mindset, pitch by pitch, and its simplicity. That's what you learn as a veteran guy, and you move on from year to year. But he has James Shields and also Tyson Ross. I think that competitiveness the three of them are going to have is going to benefit Andrew Cashner.
Pretty good first three for the Padres. You mentioned Tyson Ross, who's already made 2 starts. James Shields had a tough start yesterday. That'll miss, and it's 2-2. Ramirez leading it off, second baseman. .219 average a year ago in a Cleveland Indians uniform. Strike 3 right at the knees. Ramirez didn't like it, but he'll take with him the first strikeout of the day for Cashner. So a good start for Cashner. He'll check out the defense behind him. Left to right in the outfield. Melvin Upton Jr. in left. John Jay in center. Jabari Blash around in right. Third to first. Adam Rosales at third base today. Alexei Ramirez at shortstop. Corey Spangenberg at second base. Will Myers at first. And Derek Norris doing the catching for Andrew Cashner. One down for Will Venable. First year in an Indians uniform.
Well, Don, you go back to that last strikeout pitch, and you look at what the adjustment Andrew Cash is making. Getting on top of the baseball, you see that movement down in the strike zone. And Derek Norris doing a nice job framing that on the outside part of the plate.
Venable last year, 98 games with the Padres. Breaking into the big leagues of the Padres in 2010. Split year last year, spent some time in Texas. Combined for 135 games a year ago, and should get plenty of playing time for the Indians in their outfield. That's one thing that's sort of unsettled right now. They have Michael Brantley, who's not yet played in a game, on his way back as part of their outfield, but they have some questions out there right now for Terry Francona.
Yeah, and you see the replay here. That's very close, and Will Venable holds on, but you're right. With the outfield, it's in flux, and you don't have a Michael Brantley. That is a big void, because that's one of the players out there that they love to watch play.
Good pitch and a strikeout, but the throw down is going to get away, and he will reach. So the throw from Norris does not get there on the strike him out, throw him out, as it turns out at first base. It can't put him out, and he'll reach on the strikeout. It's got to be the longest run after you have struck out trying to reach first base.
Yeah, it's not the comfortable run, we'll say. And most of the times you're running in frustration. That's the reason why you're running fast.
The error charge to Derek Norris that allows Venable to reach at first base after the strikeout. There is Robbie Grossman with a runner on and one out. Grossman last year 24 total games. They were the Houston Astros a year ago, 143 average. Kind of kept waiting last year for the Astros to kind of fade You know, you saw them, and perhaps maybe it was a fluke, but you looked at that roster, pretty good.
Yeah. And I didn't
faded.
I didn't think people really bought into the Houston Astros because of the youth. But some of those guys, especially Jose Altuve,
unbelievable.
He's the guy that really makes it go, and so much talent on the young roster. And then you have a Carlos Correa that comes up and stabilizes the middle of the infield and has a spectacular start of his career, which is, I really believe he is going to be the star in baseball, if not this year, the next year.
Grossman watches that sail outside, 3-0.
Yeah, you see Andrew Cashner at times, when he doesn't get on top of the baseball, he loses it on his arm side. That's that run away from the left-handed hitters, and that's typical miss for him. It's not in the middle of the plate, which is good, but that adds to his frustration, and you see that on the mound at times.
Well, taken off. The pitch is a ball, and that's ball 4. Venable, who is off with the pitch, turns out a walk here for Grossman, and it's now first and second with 1 out.
Well, if we take a look at Andrew Cashner's motion and just finishing the pitches, and you see his foot getting down, here's the arm, and just releasing it up high, not getting on top of the baseball. When he gets on top, if it's a 4-seamer, it has good ride into the strike zone, but also the 2-seamer, which is more important, has that downward plane right around the hitting area.
2 on, 1 away. Jesus Aguilar, the batter, cleanup hitter today. He's at first base last year, 131 games at AAA. Total of 7 in the big leagues with the Indians.
Oh, continuing to look at that motion from the other side and getting on top of the baseball, so important for Andrew Cashner, and working out the kinks here in spring training. Well, that's a good pitch, and it's well located, but you see the movement in the strike zone getting out of it. But that's executed, and that's really the direction he wants to be. Yes, he wants to throw strikes, but that movement is very important with the 2-seamer.
Venable at second base, Grossman at first. And that picks up the outside corner for strike 1. 31 starts a year ago for Cashner. That was a career high. Aguilar chops one towards third base. Rosales will touch third. Throws across the diamond in time to first for the double play. That ends the first inning. Nicely done as Cashner gets out of the jam. Double play ends the top of the first. Indians get nothing. Padres are coming up.
Arizona. I am sitting in a great area of Padres fans right here. They're Just giving you guys a warm hello. Well, earlier today, Andrew Cashner seemed to be in a very jovial and confident frame of mind in the clubhouse. When I was having a conversation with pitcher Colin Ray, he came up and said he personally has taken it upon himself to give Colin some interview advice based on Colin's performance in the in-game interview. We had him on a couple of days ago, if you guys remember. And Colin admits he was a little bit stiff and he was a little afraid of the camera. And Cashner said, hey, I'm a people person. I know how to do this. This is my strength. So hopefully he brings that same attitude when we have him on later on in the game after his start today. Guys?
All right, Julie, thanks very much. I like that little ribbing going on inside the clubhouse.
I'm looking forward to that. I love how Andrew Cashner's taken the young buck, Colin Ray, under his wing and having fun with him. I'm looking forward to that interview, too.
Colin Ray, of course, vying for the 4 or 5 spot in the Padres rotation. And making a pretty good showing so far during the spring. Making a pretty good showing last year was Danny Salazar. 14-game winner last year. There's a soft line drive caught at second base by Ramirez. John Jay retired. Let's check out the Padres lineup. Just saw John Jay's in center field, leading it off with Corey Spangenberg at second base. Will Myers at first base. Melvin Upton Jr. in left field made a nice catch yesterday. Alex Dickerson, the Poway product, at the DH spot. Derek Norris doing the catching with Alexei Ramirez at shortstop. Jabari Blash in right field for the second straight day. And Adam Rosales just initiated a 5-3 double play to end last inning. Will bat ninth. Corey Spangenberg back at second base. 271 average a year ago. Look at a good fastball from Salazar and a very good year last year.
Yeah, you look at Danny Salazar's numbers and a power right-handed arm. As you said, 14 wins last year coming up for his first big league season. 30 starts. This guy's a horse. Number 3 in their rotation. That's the strength of their roster, in my opinion. And holding on to this young man, because he was one of the 3 that was asked about in trade rumors all offseason.
Went 3 innings in his first outing of the spring, gave up just 1 hit in his first outing. There's a fly ball, skied out towards deep left center field. Back goes the center fielder Venable onto the track, and he makes the catch. Bit of an adventure in a high Arizona sky, but he's back there to make the grab. 2 down, and he's part of the defense here for the Cleveland Indians. Left to right, Shane Robinson, Will Venable has made that catch. Robbie Grossman in right. Giovanni Urshela at third base. Eric Gonzalez at short with Jose Ramirez at second. Jesus Aguilar at first, and Roberto Perez doing the catching today for Danny Salazar.
That's going to be interesting to see, Don, today when we were over at Goodyear 2 days ago. Actually saw Carlos Carrasco, and he was throwing a lot of fastballs in. And Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, you're wondering if that's what they're trying to do, establish inside and see if that's the fastballs inside that the Padres get today.
One pitch you'll miss. Ken Rosenthal, senior writer from FoxSports.com, will be joining us next inning. Looking forward to that.
I am too.
It was great to be around Ken.
See what he thinks about with the NL West and how that's going to shake out.
1-1 pitch in there for strike 2. Salazar getting the first 2 outs here of the first inning. Yeah, we had cloud cover here yesterday. Seemed to help the outfielders a little bit. A few clouds around today, but not many. Pretty high sky here, and we saw Venable kind of struggle on reading that ball, that high fly to left center.
Yeah, not too much wind. We had some wind yesterday, but Will Venable knows this field by playing on it for so many years. He battled the sun and did a nice job catching that baseball.
Swing and a miss. Myers goes chasing on a fastball away. First strikeout for Salazar. 1-2-3 innings, scoreless after 1.
With a 100
Back at Peoria Stadium, as it is the Padres and Indians. Ken Rosenthal, as promised, senior writer for FoxSports.com, joins us. Great to see you, Ken. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Don. Thank you. Good to be with you guys.
Great to have you here, and we're getting a chance to check out the Cleveland Indians and what appears is going to be a very interesting American League Central this year.
I agree, although today's lineup, I question whether there are 4 regulars in it. Just saying. But the Indians are a really, really interesting team. A lot of people like them better than I do. I still question whether they'll have enough offense. But, Don, you know this. They can pitch, and their rotation is young enough and talented enough where they feel this could be a year where they can do some special things.
Well, Ken, you also talked a lot in the offseason about their top 3 starters, Corey Kluber, Carrasco, and also Salazar, who we're seeing today. Are you surprised that they kept all 3?
Yes and no. Yes, because there was so much action on them, especially early. You thought for sure they would get the type of deal that they wanted. But no, because the Indians are one of the more difficult teams to deal with. And I'm not saying the teams don't like talking to them, but they place a value on their players and they don't come off it. And they're right, of course. But it makes it sometimes difficult to swing the kind of trade that teams want to do.
Let's talk about the National League West and what that looks like right now. It appears the division getting better across the board, it seems.
It's a really interesting division, Don. You know that. And it looks like the 3 teams, Dodgers, Giants, and Diamondbacks, will be the 3 competing for playoff spots. Padres and Rockies perhaps behind them, but at the same time, I was just thinking about this today. Every year we do see surprise teams. And I'm not sitting here trying to say the Padres are going to be that team or the Rockies are going to be that team. But things do happen in this sport that are not predicted by people like myself or other supposed experts. So who knows?
You know, a lot of opportunities out here that you're seeing. And Andy Green won, Dave Roberts in L.A. Are you surprised at those, especially Dave Roberts in that big market? But let's touch on Andy Green as well. I mean, he needs to try to change that culture here and have them expect to win.
Actually, I'm working on a story now about Andy Green, in part because I didn't know a whole lot about him. And I don't know that many fans know a whole lot about him. He's not a guy that was a named player. But everything I have heard, and I've talked to a ton of people about him, is extremely positive. And granted, they have not played a meaningful game yet. We'll see what happens in May or June when there's a losing streak. That's the test. That's the first test. But at the same time, a manager can make a difference. Is it 5 wins or 10 wins? Probably not. But culture is important. We know that. And as with Roberts in L.A., perhaps he can be that kind of guy, kind of a transformative figure for the franchise.
We're talking about the Dodgers. Of course, Don Mattingly now with the Marlins. And Barry Bonds, interesting story there. The hitting coach, do you perceive how that's going to work this year? What's that going to be like?
Really interesting. It's one of the things to watch for sure. And there is no question, Mark, you know this, Barry is extremely knowledgeable about hitting. He can teach it as well as anyone, and certainly that aspect of it is not in question. What I question is whether he's going to want to show up at 2 o'clock and look at video and help guys, the 25th man roster in the cage, soft flips and all that stuff, and how long he'll tolerate that. He's not the alpha male in that clubhouse. He's not the guy. He's a coach, and that's different. So I've got the over-under on whether he lasts about June 15th, but if he does last, he can make an impact much like McGwire has made an impact. There's no question, whatever you think of these guys, both of them know a lot about their craft. And in Bonds' case, we have heard from a lot of players, Dexter Fowler most notably, who have said this guy is a great, great teacher.
Well, I think if you're thinking about the dynamic of the San Diego Padres, you talk about the top 3. What's the feeling of Tyson Ross? He's the opening day starter. They already announced him. What's the feeling around baseball of how much great stuff he has?
He's very much a coveted guy. And, of course, there were talks and have been talks and probably are talks about him going on right now. And obviously the question will be for them to sign him to an extension or trade him. But as far as talent and where he is in the game, it's pretty high. And those 3 guys that they have, Shields included with Castro, that is, of course, what gives the Padres reason to believe that they can be very competitive. They've always pitched well in Petco. Petco helps them pitch well. But when you start with that, so many teams don't have that. That can really help.
A strikeout for Cashner in this inning, now has 2 in his outing so far. bullpen a little bit of a question mark going. A lot of jobs available in the bullpen. And Fernando Rodney, seeing whether or not he will bounce back this year.
Right, and don't ask me to predict that one. He had his moments last year, but he had some really bad moments, too. So we'll see.
Let's see. Ken will be with us when we come back. A nice 1-2 inning for Cashner. A pair of Ks were scoreless. Are scoreless. Melvin Upton Jr., Alex Dickerson, Derek Norris coming up. Ken Rosenthal has been kind enough to step in for a few innings, and we're talking here amongst ourselves in between innings. Some of the comments that Bryce Harper made, the game is tired, and it's, it goes back to the backflip which you watched Jose Bautista during the playoffs. It was an incredible reaction to an incredible home run. But your thoughts on some of the comments that came from Bryce Harper and about the unwritten rules and some of the things that baseball maybe needs to change?
I happen to agree with him. The unwritten rules are tired. And it's not a question of being disrespectful to the opponent. You never want to see that. And if you cross that line, you deserve whatever's coming. But as far as showing emotion, the way Bautista did, the way others sometimes do, I don't have a problem with that. And what I'm tired of, frankly, and Mark, you can address this, is veteran players saying, hey, I don't want to see that. You know what? The game needs some of that.
Yeah.
And I always love watching winter ball games and things, even from Korea, seeing the bat flips there. Other cultures seem fine with this. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's just developed over the years in baseball that it's a very stone-faced approach. I get that, and I get over 162 games is necessary in a lot of ways. But at the same time, Mark, I love seeing guys just celebrate the moment.
Yeah,
and that's what Bautista did.
I have to agree with you too, and there's a fine line to it. It's how you do it. And we talked about it yesterday about the Bautista bat flip. Well, that's one of those magical moments that you can't really replicate. And every little kid out there playing wiffle ball in their backyard, they want to hit the home run. They want to showcase what they're doing. It's all right to show emotion, and I think that's where the game is really lacking, and the interest that these young kids want. But the question that I have of that is Bryce Harper's making these comments, and baseball, I think, is still looking for that face. It's Derek Jeter, he's gone, and they're still looking for the face of that. Who do you really believe is going to be that?
It might be Harper. And the reason I say that instead of Trout is personality. Bryce Harper has a more effusive personality than Trout does. Now, the guy really to watch here, and I don't want to overlook him at all because he can be this player, is Correa. He has, from what I've seen, Jeter-like qualities. And he's not going to be as controversial as Harper, but he is a player who, of course, is extremely gifted and is going to be a great, great player for a long time, but also has a good way about him, a great way about him, and has some substance to him. So I can see the future being with those guys. And I don't also agree that you need a face of baseball. Jeter was that guy, great. Well, now we have multiple faces. And what I would like to see is those faces become more prominent and somewhat more pervasive in the culture. They're not that right now, and it's interesting. Larry Baer, the Giants president, told a story about Greinke visiting them in the offseason when he was a free agent. They interview him, or they talk to him. He goes out, walks the streets of San Francisco, and nobody bothered him. Now, he's Zach Greinke.
Right.
He's one of the best pitchers in the game, and for some reason, he doesn't have that kind of Q rating, for lack of a better term. I'd like to see that change. I'd like to see these guys become bigger stars, and part of the reason that they're not is this culture that tamps everything down.
Well, you have LeBron in basketball, and you have football icons. I'm wondering who that is going to be in baseball. I don't think it's a necessary thing, but I think baseball really needs that too, to identify to the public and to younger kids.
And I'll give you another name, older guy. Well, older than the ones we just talked about, Buster Posey. And Buster Posey really is Derek Jeter. He's won a lot early. He carries himself extremely well. He is not necessarily an electric media presence. Nice guy, great guy, but he's not that guy. So he's done some commercials now. That one where he's in the delivery room, that's a good one.
I love it. That was really
But
that's a special
he's a guy,
player.
right? But he's a guy that conceivably could rise to that level too.
Well, back-to-back strikeouts. In fact, 3 in a row now for Salazar as he gets Upton and Dickerson. Derek Norris, the batter. And a chopper towards third base. Urshela charging barehanded in the air. His throw not in time. Norris able to beat it out, but what a bid by Urshela down there at third base.
That was a tremendous athletic play by Urshela, as you said, Don. And watch the jump over, not having any momentum towards first base, getting a lot on it. Credit Derek Norris getting down the line. Always hustling down the line and quick step on that front part of the bag.
We've talked about pace of play a lot over the last couple of years, and it seemed like it did help out last year a little bit. Batters staying in the box on a regular basis. This year, the addition of the 30-second rule for the manager pitching coach to go out there. How do you think that's going to work out? And what happens if they go over the 30 seconds exactly?
Well, first of all, how is Bruce Bochy getting out there in 30 seconds and getting back? I don't know how they're going to account for that. I like all of these things. They're making these incremental steps.
This one is lined down the left field line, just foul.
At the same time, Don, I do wonder how that one is going to be implemented and gone about. But at the same time, they've talked about pace of play. They've also talked about action and somehow increasing the action. Now, I don't know how you do that, but there seems to be a universal acknowledgement right now that there are too many strikeouts in the game, too much dead time. I would like to see some more contact. I think we all would. And you look at the Royals and what they accomplished last year, the way they go about it, they should be a good example for a lot of other clubs.
Of course, there is a pitch clock that exists in the minor leagues. Do you ever imagine a scenario where that comes to the major leagues?
I do. Depends how this all goes over the next couple of years, but there are people in Major League Baseball who want that to happen.
5-4 in the force out at second base. Ken, thanks for coming by. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thanks, Ken.
We are scoreless through 2.
And next Saturday, UFC Fight Night returns as FS1 has two heavyweight legends collide when knockout artist Mark Hunt battles former champion Frank Mir, plus Neil Magny takes on Hector Lombard. UFC Fight Night begins next Saturday at 4:30 Pacific, only on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Are you a UFC guy?
I actually like it.
Yeah.
I liked it when it first started, but I am. I enjoy it a little bit. I do. I enjoy it. Frank Mir, two-time champion, still doing it. I would not want any part of the octagon.
Come on.
I would not. I'd get crushed.
Top of the third inning, and Shane Robinson, the former Minnesota Twin, leading it off here.
Easy target.
Yeah. Yeah. Robinson had a tough day the other day. The Padres were in Goodyear to take on the Cleveland Indians. He lost not one, but two balls in the sun, leading to 3 Padres runs. Talked about the high skies here in Arizona, and he certainly had to deal with that the other day. Leads it off here in the top of the third and takes the strike. Pretty good second inning for Cashner. Got a ground out from Perez and then proceeded to strike out Ramsey and Urshela back-to-back. 3 Ks today.
Yeah, really seeing him as we see the manager for the Indians. But you're seeing a nice adjustment for Andrew Cashner. See the breaking ball there, but it's working off of the fastball, and he's getting that command on top of the baseball. Earlier in his first inning, it looked like he was running the ball a little bit longer, and then he makes the adjustment. In-inning adjustment and pitch by pitch is very important for Andrew.
1-2 pitch coming to Robinson. And a slow chopper left side. Charging in is Rosales on the run, and in time able to get Robinson. But today was about as stressful and open as I have ever had in my Major League career.
Talking about UFC.
Terry Francona and I have been very good friends for a lot of years. Had the chance to broadcast his games for the 8 seasons that he was in Boston. And he had this thing where he would attack me from time to time. And it was an assault. On a few occasions, I almost had him arrested, in fact. And today we did the open on the field, which was great. But what I didn't realize was that the Cleveland Indians were coming in behind us during the open. And I had a feeling that that was going to take place live on Fox Sports San Diego today.
Yeah, I thought you were looking at me way too much, but obviously Tito Francona is definitely in your dome a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. If you look up Orsillo Francona on Google and look for attack, there are at least 2 videos, one bout that took place in the dugout at Fenway Park and one that took place in Cleveland. Both occasions I was beaten up badly. And I thought it was going to happen today right here in Arizona. That's why if I ran through the open as quickly as I did, that's the reason. I was trying to get off the field as quickly as possible.
Well, I knew it was important for you because you were not only looking over my shoulder, but Brad Mills, the bench coach for the Cleveland Indians, who was also with Tito in Boston.
Yes.
He said, man, if I knew you were on the field, I would have told him. And we got pretty fortunate that we got off the field.
We did. As soon as did, I boogied right off the field and right up here very quickly.
I think you would have been part of the UFC fight.
There's no doubt about it. 2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Good pitch down and away. And chasing it is Gonzalez. A strikeout for Cashner.
Yeah, nice feel for the breaking ball. We've seen some really good breaking balls, both the curveball and the slider. Getting on top of that, that looks like a nice bottom to that breaking pitch. What that is in the hitting zone. For so long, it looks like a fastball to the hitter and then just drops off the table.
2 down here in the third inning, back up top. Second time through the order now for Cashner. And Jose Ramirez, who struck out looking in the first inning. That's 5 strikeouts altogether now for Cashner. One of those strikeouts reach. And Will Venable in the first inning. Good strikeout stuff today so far for him. The 1-0. He falls behind now 2-0. Has not done this too much today.
Yeah, and I like that miss, though. With the 1-0 pitch, as a hitter, you're just amped up for looking for that fastball. And it's that 2-seamer down in the strike zone. If you're swinging at that, that's a 4-3. That looked like a nice changeup off of that fastball. Again, it's a concentration level for the hitter. You're looking at saying he's got to throw that fastball. And the bottom comes out. That looked like a fastball, actually, with a 2-seam action.
Down to Myers at first base, guarding the line, tags the bag. It's a 1-2-3 third inning through 2.5. We're scoreless.
Your digital lifestyle means you have a lot of digital stuff.
Padres are scoreless to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Padres in the inning. AJ Preller, the general manager of the San Diego Padres, glad to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Glad to be here.
Now heading into the spring here and now getting some games under your belt, how do you feel spring training is going so far for your club?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, you want to, number one, stay healthy, and you never obviously don't have control over that. But I think for the most part, our guys have been healthy. It was nice yesterday to see Fernando Rodney and Kevin Quackenbush get on the mound, and they had just little hamstring issues at the beginning of camp, and to see those guys come on and throw well yesterday was a good deal. But I think overall, things are going well. I think like anything else, you see good and bad things every day, and try to work your way through that.
AJ, there's so much of talk around the San Diego Padres year to year is the bullpen. Well, this year there's some opportunity out there. How do you see the bullpen, and how important is that moving forward?
Yeah, I think, we got to the offseason. Obviously, last year we had the situation. You had, Joaquin Benoit in the 8th and Brandon Maurer in the 7th, and then Benoit in the 8th, and obviously Craig Kimbrell in the 9th. And when, we made the decision this offseason to make a few moves and trade from the pen, I think, it ended up giving us some talent that we're going to see throughout our organization. But, in the big league bullpen, it created a lot of opportunity. I think, Rodney's going to get the first chance to close. And then, we'll see. I think we've you added Drew Pomeranz, you added Villanueva, and then some guys that we took in the Rule 5 as well. Have a chance to fill that 6th, 7th inning roles. But it's really wide open right now. And I think probably the one nice part about the last couple of weeks is that, you see guys start to, kind of start to step up. And I think there's definitely opportunity out there. And I think we've seen, a number of guys that have a chance to, be fighting for spots here until the end of camp.
One of the guys I want to ask about, we just saw in that shot there, and Andy Green, and you talk so much about culture. We've heard a lot about that during the spring. Have you seen it firsthand, the way that he has turned some things around here culture-wise in the clubhouse and with the team?
Yeah, I think just overall, I think you always want to have a positive environment. I think you look up at the end of the year, and I think, the best teams is, the teams that have that good winning chemistry. And, I think it's just it's something that he's been talking about really since the time we first sat down with him in an interview process. And that's what good leaders do. They create an atmosphere in which you have a chance to achieve and in which you have a chance to even, overachieve. And I think, I think as an organization, I think we've put a lot of emphasis on it. And, I think we're seeing our minor league side, and we're seeing our big league side with, through Andy and our coaches. So.
Well, AJ, you see it, and some of the challenges when you take on a new club like you did when you came on. getting that structure from top to bottom, not only at the big league level, but the minor leagues as well. Do you feel like you're closer to getting where you need to be with the development side?
Yeah, I mean, I think, definitely, see in the last year, you just go on our backfields, and it's part of spring training as well. Every day the minor league guys are out there, and they're working, and you see kids getting better, and you see our programs getting better, and, I think, I definitely feel like over the last year, it's been an area where we've made big strides. I think you're continue to see it this year with, go out to our affiliates and see our young guys play. They're being schooled the right way. They're being taught the right way. There's a system-wide approach to what we're doing, and I think guys are enjoying it. They're having fun. We're playing well, and we're getting guys better on the minor league development side for sure.
I'm looking at the roster, and you made a move with Craig Kimbrell going to Boston, but Manny Margot, he's special talent, and I know there's a lot of guys to talk about, but speak a little bit about Manny and what you've seen in spring training.
Yeah, I think I think it's been good to see. Good to see him. I think from a report standpoint, what we thought we were getting was a guy that is a good defender in center field, chance to be an impact defender in center field. He brings a ton of energy. He's obviously a plus runner, and it's a slashing type bat that is probably going to put balls line to line, and you look up in a few years and there's a lot of doubles and triples, and we've seen that. I think it's good to see him come into camp and face big league caliber pitching, and he's not intimidated by it. He's not fazed by it, and I think I think John Jay's done a nice job with him every single day. Making sure that he gets with him and kind of shows him routine and what the expectation is to be a big leaguer for a long time, and he's taken off and gone with it. So he played winter ball this past year, so I think all those experiences are trying to put him in a position to maybe speed up his development curve and put him on path to San Diego sooner rather than later.
Seems March is an interesting time at times for trades, and teams get a look at what they have and what their needs are going to be moving forward into March. Do you perceive any changes trade-wise or anything with the Padres leading up to opening day?
Yeah, I think it's definitely
Now fall in between three Indians. Off the bat of Jay, Rosales takes second base, 2 on, 1 out.
Yeah, I think it's I think the 3 big times a year. I mean, you have the off season, really, leading up to the winter meetings. I think the time here at the end of spring training when you're setting your rosters, and then the trade deadline. Those seem to be the 3 most active times in terms of trades. I mean, I think every day when you guys have a game, you usually show that scout section. It's there's every team is they're sending their scouts, their pro scouts out to see all 30 clubs and see you have roster decisions, and you're trying to evaluate if there are guys that are out there that maybe fit better than the guys that are on your club. And I think for the most part, the first couple of weeks of spring training, most teams are just seeing your own, and you're trying to get a sense of where you're at. And some of the guys you've brought in, do they fit? Do they not fit? Have guys gotten better? Have they gotten worse? I think the calls are already starting to pick up the last couple of days, and I'm sure it'll be active in the last few weeks. Whether you end up doing anything or not, you never know. But I know we'll be prepared to do something. So,
AJ, so many times that you hear so many factors of a player, and we just saw John Jay who got on the first base with that pop-up. 6 years in the big leagues. This is his 7th year, and he's been in the playoffs every single year with the Cardinals. Is that important aspect to bring in players like that so you're getting that winning culture and they can speak to that?
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, at least as far as our part of our decision-making process with John is that he's a winner. I think he's in not just big league atmosphere. Amateur days. Everybody we went back and checked on. They talk about him personally, what he brings to the table. From an aptitude standpoint, from basically from a work ethic standpoint, and then the fact that he's been part of successful clubs. He's gone from start to finish and played through October. He's played in big games in front of big crowds, and I think those were definite elements when we looked at John specifically. When we look at players that we talk about when we want to add guys to this mix, as guys that have been part of where we want to get to, which is October baseball, and he's definitely been there, and that was definitely part of our decision-making process with John.
So AJ said, boy, really, it's changed over the years how general managers feel about different players. It's not just about the numbers. They need to find out about what kind of guy this is and what kind of character they bring to your clubhouse.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily how much has changed in certain cases. I think it seems like the spring training you're getting a lot of articles written, and obviously you see even the case in Boston they're talking about it's not just about the numbers, but I think almost every shop, almost every team, they understand that there's a lot more that goes into the game. There's a lot more that goes into the way a team comes together and the way pieces fit than just looking at your batting average or on base percentage or anything like like that. So I think it's something that, I know, that we look at serious. It's just kind of the fit and how it's going to work and how guys, fit together from a makeup standpoint and chemistry standpoint. And I'm sure, every other club is constantly looking at the same thing. So
Spangenberg strikes out, 2 down in the inning.
When you bring in a manager like Andy Greenwood that doesn't have a lot of experience at the big league level, he has been a big leaguer, and he's gone through some of the stuff in the minor leagues. He's managed before. But what are the biggest challenges for him for a first-year manager?
Yeah, I think I think it's just going through things for the first time in a different environment. I think it's really just getting to really know the players as people. And I think there's only so much you can do in an off season. I know he went out and he visited a lot of guys in their house, their environment. But you get that quick snapshot, and I think for him to understand, you really don't know somebody until you're living with them day in, day out, and see how they react and respond to maybe failures and different experiences. That's what he's going through right now, and I think he's getting to know his coaches every day. I think they're getting to know what his expectations are. He's getting to know what he can expect from his coaches, what their work looks like in terms of preparing, and that's going to take some time. I mean, we had that conversation here this morning talking about it. That's just part of it's the fun part. It's the fun part of the journey and the process of really putting together a team and a group. But I think he's kind of in that that feeling out process still, and I think I think that's what spring training's for, and hopefully hit the ground running when we get into the season.
For myself, looking at the numbers from last year, it looked like defense was an issue for the Padres last year. You had to be very excited to shore up the middle a little bit by getting Alexei Ramirez. Yeah,
I think definitely no secret. I think all last year we kept looking at the shortstop position and trying to find somebody that could shore up the shortstop spot. Alexei's been a very he's been a very productive big leaguer for 7 or 8 years there with the White Sox on good clubs again, and I think we've seen in spring training he's got good hands, he's got a good arm, he loves to play the game. He can beat you, especially if you try to challenge him with the fastball. And you look up every year with Alexei, it's usually 150 games, and it's somewhere between 250 and 280, and 25 plus doubles and 10 home runs. And I think from our standpoint, I think it's nice to know that we have a regular type shortstop in there for this year. And the same thing, you're always trying to get players up the middle that help you. And I think with our club, the catching spot so far in spring training has been looks like that we've got some good options there at shortstop with Alexei, and then with BJ Jankowski and John Jay in center field, they've all played pretty well as well.
The catching staff that you just touched on, Christian Bethancourt coming over from Atlanta. Your impressions of him so far?
Yeah, I think. You want to take it to break?
Yeah. We will take it to break. AJ, we thank you very much for stepping in. It is scoreless here through 3 innings. As we get ready for the top of the fourth inning back at Peoria Stadium, it is the Indians and Padres without a score. And the new hitting coach for the San Diego Padres, Alan Zinter, joins us. And Alan, great to have you with us.
It was great to be with you guys.
It's got to be a daunting task to take on an entire, I don't say take on, but take over an entire group, a new organization of hitters, trying to learn them and their strengths and weaknesses and seeing what they do and trying to help. How daunting has that task been for you so far?
Daunting? Not at all. It's been something that I welcome. I love this stuff so much that it's just been so interesting for me to be able to start those relationships. I couldn't wait to get to spring training and start to meet the guys and see them and talk with them and see what they're all about. And that's the first step, is building these relationships and getting the communication going. And it's been so much fun.
Alan, the best thing that when you talk to people around baseball and I say, give me a description of Alan Zinter. They talk about passion and perseverance. Tell me where you got that from, and does it help you taking on this challenge of being the head guy as the hitting coach?
I think that, what I went through in my career, and I absolutely love the game of baseball. It was so easy for me to have the passion. You know, my father introduced me to the game when I was young, and he made it fun for me. He took me to big league games when he could, to spring training. And those moments in my life inspire me to keep going. And so I was fortunate to be able to get into pro ball, a good collegiate program, and get into pro ball. I just gave everything I had. And through the struggles and failures of, throughout a career and being fortunate to play 19 seasons, the perseverance, it was always there. I was never going to quit on the game. They were going to have to rip the uniform off of me. And, yeah, that definitely sets me up to be able to handle and work with hitters. And what I love is that, it's never going to be easy. You're never going to have all your 12 guys or 9 guys in the lineup all feeling good at once. So you're going to have to learn to walk through the fire with these guys and get them through that. Then when you get that, somebody else is going to be in the fire.
Alan, and that's a great point, too. All 12 hitters are not going to be locked in. And do you take that home with you, or how do you separate it from leaving the field and then coming the next day?
Oh, it definitely follows me home. There's been plenty of nights where I've gotten out of bed and gotten into a stance or a thought has come through my mind when I was laying there. Sleepless nights, there's been a few of those when things, more than 10 of the guys aren't feeling good, and we got maybe 2 guys, and those 2 guys aren't in the lineup. That's not good. So yeah, it can. Yeah, I take it home. I don't separate.
Now, scoreless game here. Alan Zinter joining us, and here's a ground ball right side. Spangenberg to his right, and retires Venable for the first out of the inning. I had a chance to watch Alan Zinter play in 2 of his, 19 years in the game, as it turns out, with the Binghamton Mets and the Pawtucket Red Sox. And I thought for sure this guy was going to have a long major league career, but he didn't mention it, but 14 minor league seasons before getting that first major league at bat. And I guess you talk about perseverance, as you were talking about before. Alan, there had to be times where you were thinking about hanging it up maybe, or never until you got there?
Never. I never once thought about quitting or giving this up. I was just going to continue to play as long as I felt that I was, able to be productive. And I always, every year when the season was over and I was driving back and didn't get the call, I was like, wait till next year, wait till they see me next year. And then it kept, just kept reoccurring. But I never once thought about giving it up.
Alan, I know you don't want to talk about yourself too much, but if you think about a question I think a lot of people want to hear, is that when you persevere that long in the minor leagues, what was that first call like, and what do you remember the most?
It was obviously it was overwhelming. When I got the call, it was really cool because it was in Colorado Springs on Father's Day, and my father had flown in from El Paso, Texas. He had a little business trip that he was doing in Colorado Springs, so it just coincided with being on Father's Day. It was perfect. So I was taken out in a double switch in a close game. I think it was a 2-1 game, and I struck out in the top of the 8th. And Chris Maloney, our manager at the time, said, he gave me the double switch sign. We didn't have enough players. He goes, go down there and catch the, in the bullpen. So I had to go from the striking out in the batter's box and walk to the bullpen and catch. And I was like, crap, this sucks. But when I got back, he yelled at the trainer, and I was in the corner of the dugout, and he said, hey, can we tell him yet? The trainer goes, yep. So I was in the corner of the dugout. There was about 6 pitchers charting the games and talking, and in between me and the manager, and he had started walking. So every pitcher was like looking at him in anticipation of maybe it's me, and I was just drinking water. This has happened so many times. I was not even aware that he was going to be coming towards me, and when he got past that last pitcher, it was like things started to feel really weird in my body. And so at 34 years old, yeah, it was very emotional. These guys were pounding on me and excited for me. It was like we won the World Series. It was in the dugout, so people didn't know what was going on. And so, yeah, it was really special to be able to walk out of the dugout after the game and go up those steps to the locker room in Colorado Springs and have my dad waiting there and tell him in a way that, hey, Dad, what do you want to do tomorrow? He's like, well, I don't know. Let's go. You know, where do you want to eat tomorrow? I'm like, well, I think in Milwaukee they have a pretty good restaurant. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, let's go to Milwaukee. I go, you want to go to Milwaukee? So he finally figured it out. And we had a tearful, joyous little emotions there, so it was really cool.
That's a great story. It really is. As Aguilera hits a home run here for the Indians off Drew Pomeranz, the new pitcher coming into the game for the Padres, and a 2-out solo shot has Cleveland on top 1-0. Well, your thoughts on how camp has gone so far for you and the hitters, Alan?
I think camp's going really well. I think we're building those relationships. I'm figuring out how these guys' routines and working through their routines and getting these guys prepared. You know, it's obviously we want to win spring games, but it's not the, you know, by all means, it's not the most important thing in the world at this point. The most important thing is to get these guys feeling good and in the right momentum and going in the right direction, trending in the right direction, so that they can be ready to compete for 162 games and hopefully even longer. So these guys, you know, we're trying to attack the process and not attack or hunt for the hits or the results. And if we can get guys to buy into that, it's going to be a fun year.
All right, Alan, thanks very much. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
1-0 Indians.
I'm here with Andrew Cashner. Thanks so much for joining me in game here. Solid outing, 3 scoreless innings. How important is it for you to get that solid start here in spring training?
You know, I've been working with Darren Balsley a lot. I've been working with him, really locating my fastball this spring and really establishing that. And I think today was really the first time that's really come together for me.
Nice mix of pitches that we saw there. Can you show me the grip? Actually, I'm going to grab a ball here. Can you show me that grip on that spike curveball, as you call it?
Yeah, I went back to my junior college grip on my slider, and it's just, I just spike it and throw it as hard as I can.
Is that your favorite one to throw?
You know, it's tight spin. I really throw it with hand speed, and it's been a big pitch for me in my whole career, and I kind of went away from it a couple years ago, but you know, I think it's got a chance to be a big pitch for me this season.
Now, as you look around the clubhouse, a lot of new faces. What is the biggest difference coming into spring training this year versus past years? And if you could take the temperature of that clubhouse, what would you say about it?
I think it's been really good. You know, I think we have a great manager in Andy Green, and you know, he's really set the tone for the players and what he expects out of us. But I think the biggest thing is just ownership of you know, what you're doing each day, put in your work, your routine, and stuff like that.
What have you been doing personally to work on those mechanics?
I've been doing a lot of work with Darren Bosley. I think, I owe a lot to him. We've really worked on some stuff the other day in the bullpen, and I think, it really showed today.
Now, I know you've said that last season was your toughest season ever. So coming into this season, what is it that you want to change, and how much of that do you take with you coming in, or do you just leave it at last season?
No, I mean, you can't really live in the past. I'm always live in the moment kind of guy. It's, you have to evaluate where you're at, at the end of the season. But other than that, you just stay where you're at and keep going forward.
Now, I know you said you were giving lessons. We talked about this earlier on in the game. You're giving lessons to Colin Ray. He said he was going to be here, and he was going to be watching your outing. So here he is.
Yeah, we just wanted to clarify. Colin had a tough interview the other day, but we wanted to clarify that he likes steak, eggs, and potatoes. But, we're working on, getting him back up to speed, and, he's working on not looking at the monitor the whole time.
Right, but it is distracting, right? It's hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch the game and cheer on the guys at the same time, and, I don't know. Cash, I appreciate him coming in here and letting me in here, letting you guys know that it's not just steak and potatoes. There's eggs in there, too, so.
Giving you some pointers on the interview process. It's not as easy as it looks, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping today I get a little redemption. Yeah. It's a little better.
How's he doing?
Oh, we love him. We got to have him this year.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Andrew. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. How long did it take you to get used to interviewing when you became a major league player?
Well, when you're the 25th guy on the roster, there's not many interviews you have to. They're not dying
not
for
a lot
the
of requests. Yeah.
Not a lot of requests. But I do love the fact that Andrew Cashner is having fun with a Colin Ray, because it's tough. As a younger player, you want to get them to feel very comfortable about getting on air and doing those little things. But how you get that comfort is you get a little razzing in the clubhouse, and it's fun. It's stuff that you have to have. And when you have a close-knit group in the clubhouse, it's a difference maker on the field. I'm a big believer in that, and Andrew Cashner is starting that early with Colin Ray.
Well, it's worked out great so far. Those two appear to have a very good relationship, and Colin Ray had a very good spring training so far as he vies for one of those two last spots in the rotation.
Yeah, if you think of Colin Ray, too, big right-hander last year. I don't think the velocity was there because of the wear of the first, a big season for him in the minor leagues, coming up to the big leagues and having to impress. They had to shut him down a little bit. He came into spring training with more confidence in my estimation, but also he has that pounds behind him where he feels a little more comfortable, and it sounds like the velocity is up as well.
And a good outing today for Andrew Cashner as he goes 3 innings. Ends up with a total of 5 strikeouts and 1 walk. And the run of the game came off Drew Pomeranz, the home run by Jesus Aguilar. It's a difference in this one. The Indians on top 1-0. 2 down here in the last of the 4th inning. Derek Norris reached on an infield hit. Salazar has 7 strikeouts through 3 2/3 innings.
Well, we've seen both power arms today be very successful in Andrew Cashner and also Salazar, and you can see why Cleveland Indians are going to be one of those teams to watch for the starters, because the top 3 of both clubs here, the Padres and Cleveland, that's the strength of the club.
Now, Terry Francona banking on that. Corey Kluber will be his opening day starter. And what is an improved American League Central? There's a 2-hopper. One explodes on Ursula. He's played a great third base in this game. And nice pick there. Gets Norris at first base. Padres are retired. To 4, it's 1-0 Indians. Ron Fowler will be alongside. We come back. for the Padres back in Arizona as we get ready here for the 5th inning. Difference in the game, Jesus Aguilar, the home run in the 4th inning. Great to have Executive Chairman Ron Fowler alongside. Ron, how's spring training going for you so far?
Well, spring training has been great in terms of changes, and we'll see what Andy's doing. The pace is quicker, but I've been actually back in San Diego and in Florida and all over with some other stuff for baseballs. So this is really my first game.
Well, so much competition and communication goes along with this organization as well, and I think Andy Green exemplifies that as your organization. Your impressions of him from the interview process and now taking on into spring training.
Well, he's walking the talk, and that's what we wanted. And, when we interviewed, we wanted someone with passion who had a program, and just as with AJ, with in terms of player development and everything, and scouting and drafting, we felt that there was a program there. Andy came with a plan, and he's really executing the plan. He talked to some of the owners today, and basically took him through where he is with the plan and how it's rolling out. So it was a fun day to interview.
He's been very vocal so far during the spring. His new coaches as well, and I've heard a lot about a culture change here so far this year. And last year had to be pretty disappointing for you overall after what was such a, anticipated spring training.
Yeah, we won the off season, and that's really a Pyrrhic victory. So the season was not much fun. Yeah. You're absolutely right, Don. And unfortunately, Mark got to watch it with us.
Well, you have the All-Star game coming up. You've got to be excited about that. Looking forward to it in San Diego.
I think San Diego is just a natural place for the All-Star game. We're going to be able to do a lot of outdoor events and a lot more events, and I think Major League Baseball is looking forward to it. The organization's looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody.
There'll be a great deal of planning going on for that entire week for you.
We have a lot of people tied up in a lot of meetings, and I think the Major League Baseball people sort of like to come to San Diego in the winter.
Yeah, they do.
So they seem to have a little more speed in their step, and everybody seems happy.
Did you feel like you had more meetings this year with people from baseball coming in because of that fact? And coming into San Diego is not too bad.
No, we've had a lot of people come to San Diego, but 3 years ago when we first got involved, we were sort of out with the ins. We were on no committees and anything, and now among Peter, Mike, and myself, we're on 6 major league committees, so we're traveling all over for baseball as well as baseball coming to San Diego for the All-Star game. So we're about as engaged as any club could be with Major League Baseball right now.
How hard was it to get to the All-Star game, to get to San Diego, for you guys to get it there?
Well, I think the former commissioner, Seelig, kept on dodging me after the first few months, because every time he talked to me, I'd ask about the All-Star game. But, if you sort of watch what's going on, and don't want to interrupt somebody. Oh, look it out.
Alexei Ramirez throws him out.
Anyway, when you sue baseball, you're probably not going to get an All-Star game. And I think actually Baltimore was supposed to have the game, and we got a phone call. How quickly can you move? And I said, I think we can move quickly. And Mike and our entire staff did that. We got with the mayor. We got what we needed. And we were able to go in about a period of 3 months from not knowing if we were going to ever have an All-Star game to getting an All-Star game in 16. So it was pretty exciting.
2 down here in the inning. Ron Fowler joining us as Shane Robinson fouls one outside of third base. A lot of events going on at Petco Park during the offseason as well, and some exciting things going on this summer, concerts and everything else too.
Well, it's more than a ballpark was the message back in 2000, I should say, when we were looking at building it, and I think that's exactly what's happened. And our people have a lot of fun with it.
Ron Fowler, we thank you so very much. Great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Good to see you. Look forward to the season starting.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks,
well. It is 1-0 Indians on top. presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Nissan North America. Get great offers on 5 exciting new models. Shop ChooseNissan.com today. By Scripps, life after cancer is a beautiful thing. By Sequan Casino, play, win together in the heart of San Diego. And by Petco, what we feed them matters. Back in the desert here in Arizona as we play along to the bottom of the 5th inning. Great day to be on the berm out there today as the Padres and Indians play into the bottom of the 5th inning. Bottom third of the San Diego Padres order. And it's Alexei Ramirez leading it off and taking strike one.
Well, against Ross Duttweiler, who was very successful for the Washington Nationals in 2012. Ended up 10-8 that year with a 3.40 ERA.
This one ripped down the line at third base and into left field. Shane Robinson over to play it as Alexei Ramirez starts this bottom of the 5th inning with a stand-up double.
We heard AJ Preller talking about what Ramirez is going to bring, that thump against the fastballs and also extra base hits. It's exactly what you're getting here, and you see Ramirez with that fastball that's elevated in the strike zone and getting right inside that bag for an easy double.
So Ramirez with a good start to this bottom of the 5th inning, stands at second base and going to bring up Jabari Blash.
Well, this situation might help Jabari, and sometimes he gets into that pull mode. Talked about it yesterday. He likes to sit on that backside just a little bit. And your thought process is trying to hit to the right side with a leadoff double. Not saying you got to hit a ground ball over there when you're Jabari Blash, because he has the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but take the middle of the field, center field, right center. And that might benefit this big man.
They're working on plate discipline for him, and really a lot of strikeouts for him last year. Guy's got a lot of power. There's no doubt about that. 32 home runs between AA and AAA, trying to cut down on the strikeouts. How hard is that to do? To kind of change the approach, or at least give him something more to think about, trying to cut down those strikeouts?
Well, Don, with failures, you get ideas, and sometimes you have to sift through the good ones and the bad ones. But what meshes for Jabari alone, and I think there's some adjustments he has to do with the balance of his swing. I know Alan Zinter's looking for that. You start spreading out, as you can see, trying to take some of the movement out of the swing. But I think he has to stay in the strike zone, which is trying to simplify it as much as possible. Some of those thoughts start creeping in your head, and you try to execute it during the game. Well, all that work has to happen in the cages during batting practice, and you got to let it happen in the game. And you want to focus on what you're trying to execute as a plan when you're in the batter's box.
It's a tough decision for AJ Preller, too, hitting down here, down the stretch. We talked about, you take a look at your team at the end of March and figure out what you got. Well, he's got 4 Rule 5 guys, and decisions need to be made. Those guys have to stay on the Major League roster, or they're offered back to the teams in which they were selected from. Blash is one of those guys.
Tough decisions, and you have to make evaluations very quickly. Sometimes guys aren't ready to in that mode. It's very difficult to see that true player. So many times we hear about evaluations down here in spring training. It's handling the breaking ball. It's your body language. It's how you handle yourself, not only on the mound or on the batter's box, but how you are around the cages, batting practice, in taking things in and being able to apply them early. Those are the evaluations I think they're going through with a Jabari Blash, and also the pitchers as well for the Rule 5.
So you got some pressure on Blash here, and certainly in spring training, when you think about hitters coming in, timing not right. How long did it take you before you felt right at the plate facing pitching in spring training?
Well, I think the one thing you can control in the minor in spring training is you're going to get a lot of fastballs, more fastballs, especially early. So to simplify it, you have to hit off the fastball. So if I was missing on that, I had to make those adjustments, those early adjustments.
Blash strikes out here. Detweiler gets him for the first out of the 5th. That's 8 strikeouts now for Indians pitching.
Well, you see the elevated pitch, but here's the swing. No stride, and then just underneath the baseballs and swing up just a little bit, and you see the frustration from Jabari. And I can't blame him because he knows what's in front of him. And all of these players understand this is a great opportunity for these Rule 5 guys, and you have to capitalize on every single one.
So unable to move the runner along here. Alexei Ramirez remains at second base. One down for Adam Rosales. Rosales 1 for 1 in the game. He's singled in the 3rd inning. Chops one foul outside of third.
And when they talk about how mental side of it is just as important, you have to be able to take all those bad thoughts and put them away. And that is the difference between a veteran guy and all that stuff. You think about Clayton Kershaw, and he is probably arguably one of the best pitchers on the planet. He's on the mound, and his composure is what is impressive. He doesn't worry about those things. That's the difference between a guy that's veteran that knows how to do it and a guy like a Jabari Blash that has opportunities. He's frustrated about his strikeout. Understand the process that's in front of you.
Don't want it to snowball either, and that can happen as well. One out as Ramirez at second base and Rosales batting here. An opportunity for the Padres after a leadoff double by Alexei Ramirez. Now that Salazar is out of the game as well. In the dirt, Ramirez remaining at second base. Run, one hit, no errors for the Indians, no runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Padres. .228 average last year for Rosales. 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Got away from Perez, so he's got to throw out Rosales, and he just does. Throw was off the mark. Aguilar had to have some fancy footwork down there, but was able to tag the bag before the arrival of Rosales. So the strikeout and the putout that goes 2-3.
Well, you're always going to get max effort by Rosales, and I think that's what's going to add to his real strength to try to make this club, and hustling down after a strikeout, almost pulling the first baseman off the bag.
So 2 down. Ramirez started the inning with a double. He's still standing at second base with 2 away. And it brings up John Jay. Jay 1 for 2. Fly ball center field. Venable had started back. Now he comes in a step and makes the catch. Bill of the cap high to wrap up the 5th inning. Indians have a 1-0 lead through 5.
Baseball. Well, in an effort to break up what he calls the monotony of spring training, manager Andy Green has invited and enlisted some very motivational speakers to come to the clubhouse pregame and preach and talk to these guys and get them motivated and fire them up. Yesterday they had Jocko Willing talk about taking ownership for one's actions. And today, you'll see a picture of this guy. This is Jason Redmond. He's a retired Navy SEAL, and he came in and talked about everyone's individual performance, but also teamwork and overcoming adversity. He basically gave them the tenets that they use as Navy SEALs, and he said, of course, we have to ratchet up the intensity because when we as Navy SEALs make mistakes, people die. But here, of course, on the baseball field, when those mistakes are made, maybe you lose, but of course it's not life and death. But he said when those tenets are applied to everyday life, people are incredibly successful. He said he got a great response from the guys, and kind of nice to see them fired up.
Yeah, some great speakers have been in here this last week in spring training for the Padres.
Yeah, and I think the timing of it in spring training, this is the time when you start settling into your zone.
John Jay out there battling the sun. Will make the catch. It was in the air a long time, and he used the glove to shield his eyes from the sun, as that is out number one. Eric Gonzalez retired, first batter that Phil Humber faces coming into the game. And yeah, it seems like it would be the perfect time to do this.
Yeah, Don, you think of the opportunity that you can have and the impact that a speaker will have on you. And it's not everyone in the room, but you look at that photo and you see the eyes locked in and the concentration level that you have to have. Andy Green expects guys to take ownership of their individual, but also collectively. And you have to try to cultivate that as well. Andy Green is made that a priority, and we hear about it all the time. I think it's going over very well.
This one laced foul down the right field line out of play. I get the impression that not only are we going to see that during spring training, but from time to time during the regular season, he's going to do some things like that as well.
Yeah, and I think and that's the difference of what Andy Green is trying to talk about with culture. And you're bringing that, but he expects everyone individually to go out there and do your job. That's an easy ask, but it's more than that.
Travis Jankowski just into the game, darts back and makes the catch. Good break, and retires Jose Ramirez for the second out here of the sixth inning.
Well, Don, yesterday we saw Melvin Upton Jr. in left field. And that's the guy that plays center. Then you see Jankowski right now making different routes. It's very difficult on the corners when you're a center fielder. So good to see Jankowski out there taking routes and feeling comfortable in left field.
Two down here in the sixth inning. Now 6 in a row retired by Padres pitching. And it brings up Will Venable. His third at bat of the day. Struck out in the first inning, grounded out to second base in the fourth inning. Fly ball center field. Jay had started back, now comes in and into the slide to make the catch. Nicely done by John Jay. Started back but recovers. Sliding on the short lawn in center. 1-0. Indians have the lead. A great grab by Jay.
Discover the Contour app from Cox.
Summary, and it is a short one at best. One run in this game, a home run. Jesus Aguilar, first baseman for the Indians, taking it out of the yard to Pomerantz deep, and it's the difference in the game. With the Indians on top 1-0, heading into the bottom of the sixth inning, back at the Orioles Stadium. And a new pitcher on now for the Tribe as Giovanni Soto comes into the game now for Terry Francona.
He
begin.
Well, only 3 innings in the big leagues last year, but you see last season in AAA, all out of the bullpen, and you see the ERA, very impressive. They're still looking for that left-hander that sticks out in this camp for the Indians.
Cory Spangenberg leading it off here for the Padres. Shows bunt. Drops it back towards the mound. And Soto a bobble, and the throw is going to be late. So Spangenberg will reach.
Well, part of Cory Spangenberg's repertoire, especially in spring training, is laying down bunts, getting into that bunting mode, especially left on left. Bunts this back to the pitcher, and Soto doesn't handle it, but the hustling Spangenberg gets down the line. He's going to have to do that throughout the year. I think that's one of the weapons that I think Andy Green's going to stress to try to implement. Get that base stealing ability on base.
Spangenberg on to begin the inning. Will Myers the batter. We're starting to see a pattern. I guess you're going to see that develop as spring training continues. But so far, we're starting to see John Jay at the top of the order with Cory Spangenberg batting second. I think some wondered would that be flip-flopped or how that would work out at the top of the order. But for right now, that's what we're seeing on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I like that. It's so hard to find that leadoff guy. And if you're going to go left and right, it would be John Jay, maybe Melvin Upton Jr. against tough lefties. But I like how John Jay competes against left-handers as well. He stays in there, and the success hasn't been in spring training right now, but I like his approach, not only with him, but against right-handers, but left-handers as well. But I also like Will Myers in the third spot. I think this is something that I wanted to see a little bit more last year. So I think this is the middle order to bat.
Kind of a tough start to the spring. Was 0 for his first 15 until yesterday. Coming up with a pair of hits for Will Myers.
It's had to feel good for him. And in talking to him before this game, he said, I just need to get a hit. And yesterday, feeling very comfortable in the batter's box. And it's important for Will Myers not only to be healthy throughout the year, but getting his bat going for 500, 600 at bats.
We talked about it before. Has not played more than 88 games in a major league season yet. That's something he definitely wants to do, stay on the field and be healthy.
Yeah, and be honest, too, as a player, you don't want to talk about health. You just want to go out there and play. But the wrist injury has given him major problems, and he wants to go have a clean slate, go out there and produce, which I think is really important for this club. I just love his potential. Everyone talks about potential and what's going to happen. If you watch the exuberance he has for the game of baseball, you want to see him really put those tools to work, and I think he has the ability. It's through the roof, no matter if it's offense or defensively.
Check on Spangenberg at first base, held on over there by Aguilar. Full count to Will Myers. Nobody out here in the Padres' 6th inning. Travis Jankowski waiting on deck. Outfield deep end straight away right now for the Indians. Inside for ball 4. Spangenberg was taken off, but it is a walk from Myers, and the first 2 have reached here for San Diego. So a good start here to the 6th inning for the Padres.
Padres Spring Training Baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Travis Jankowski batting for the first time, took over defensively in left field. And he drops the bunt down the third baseline. Going to hug the line and kick foul. They're trying to get 2 into scoring position there is Jankowski, but a foul ball.
Well, from Spangenberg, you see the bunt, and it was more for bunting for a base hit. Jankowski looked like he was trying to put a sacrifice down. But I like that fair or foul. The speed element is going to cause some problems for a lot of infielders. It's going to be part of Andy Green's managing style, I believe. You're going to see the bunting aspect, especially the speed guys.
That's one thing I'm really excited about, interested in as we get close to the beginning of the year, because we've still got a long way to go here in spring training, but you can tell not going to really tip his hat right now as to what's going on as far as whether he's going to be an aggressive manager, a guy who likes small ball, or any of those types of things we're not likely to see till games really count.
Yeah, and I really believe that it's his mentality. And when you're talking to him, I think you're going to get an aggressive style. which is great, but I also believe that you have to manage the club, and this team needs to play ahead.
Dropped down well there, and it is picked by Aguilar. Second baseman covers. And a sacrifice, and moves 2 into scoring position. Jankowski gets it down that time.
Sounds pretty simple, but you have to play ahead and rely on your pitching. That's the formula for Padres, and how you do that is sacrifice bunting. He tried the third base side, and now he's bunting it to that pitcher, first baseman side. Well executed by Travis Jankowski.
We have seen in this camp, too, Andy Green work a lot on bunting. There's been a lot of bunting practice, especially in the first 2 weeks of just working out.
Yeah, and the troubles, too, was the pitching staff. They didn't have a sacrifice bunt for a long time throughout the season, and you have to help yourself, especially in the National League. But that's execution, and it puts a lot of pressure on the defense and also the pitcher. You got second and third, 1 out. He's got to make a perfect pitch now, and that stuff gets into the pitcher's heads.
Well, here's Alex Dickerson, the DH today. 0 for 2 in the game. Struck out in the second, grounded out in the 4th inning. Second and third here for the Padres. And a line drive, base hit into left field. From third comes Spangenberg. From second, Meyer's going to try and score. He will. Throw goes to second base, and the Padres take a 2-1 lead. A 2-run single for Alex Dickerson.
Don, I love this. Yesterday we saw Alex Dickerson come into the game late with a line drive to right. Now left on left. You take a look at the approach. This is a sweeping slider. He stays on it and tracks it all the way. This is actually a good pitcher's pitch. Alex Dickerson takes it. Watch this approach. Using that lower half and extending through the baseball. It was absolutely fantastic by Alex Dickerson.
So a 2-run single. Padres take a 2-1 lead. And Derek Norris takes a hack and carves it foul to the screen. Norris 1 for 2 today. Had an infield hit in the second inning to third base, and then grounded out to third in the 4th inning. In the air to right field, struck well. Grossman going back towards the wall, and that's going to one-hop it. Up and over, a ground rule double for Derek Norris, and they will stop Dickerson at third base, and now it's second and third as he sprays it deep to right.
Back-to-back opposite field hitting, and this is spectacular by Derek Norris. This is something he's going to have to do. He put some thunder into that right center approach, and that's good feeling for Norris. He's been swinging the bat very well. It's been on the pull side mostly as he exits today. Nice day by Derek Norris.
Manuel Margot is going to pinch run at second base for Norris, as Alexei Ramirez gets ready to stand in. The infield coming in for the Indians. Not all the way in, playing about halfway, not quite to the lip of the grass. Dickerson at third base. Just ripped back into the seats. Look out. Hot shot off the bat of Ramirez.
That's what you're going to see from Ramirez. We heard AJ Preller talking about what he does, and he loves the fastball. That is on the scouting reports, but you see him trying to come in there and taking a good hack at it.
There's Manny Margot taking over at second base. Second and third here. Padres already have 2 in. Looking for more as they try to get here to Giovanni Soto. Third pitcher used today for Terry Francona's Indians. Ramirez off balance cut there with a swing and a miss. That one fooled him.
Well, you think about rising stars, Manny Margot, they got from Boston. I love his actions around the game. And AJ Preller said something interesting. He doesn't scare off. And he's adapted to that. Played winter ball, came into this situation, knowing he had to be ready to impress, coming from another organization for the first time.
Line sharply to center. In comes Cowgill to make the catch. Tagging at third is Dickerson. He will score. And the Padres take a 3-1 lead. It's been a good inning. Sack liner there for Ramirez out to center field. And Dickerson comes home. It's 3-1 San Diego. Margot remains at second base. And Ramirez gets congratulations for the RBI. There's Jabari Blash for the third time today. He has struck out twice, once looking and once swinging. Mentioned 32 home runs a year ago for Blash. 22 of them coming at AAA Tacoma, the Seattle Mariners organization. Check swing there. Did he go? They check, and yes, he did. Dan Bellino, first base umpire, saying he offered. We get another look here from the side.
You see that side, and yes, he did go.
Have to hold up on that big swing.
Very difficult. You see Jabari, and then with adjustments come that front foot. He's trying to spread out just a little bit. Most hitters will do that to try to take the movement out of it. You don't want to extend yourself. If you're going to go to that stride limit, you don't want to go farther, because then you start losing your lower half. It feels good at first, but then you start swinging, and that momentum going forward just speeds up a little bit. See the front foot just going to that stride length?
Fouls it off. I know it's not where you start, but where you end up is the most important thing. But it does look like he's kind of leaning back, starting back in his stance.
And when you lean back, you start hitting uphill, and you start losing the barrel of the bat. We see his feet, and you have to have a good balance be underneath you. Legs are very important throughout that swing. But you see him leaning back, and at times it looks to me like he uses that barrel, gets underneath the baseball a lot.
Lifts this in the air out to center field, sending Cowgill back onto the dirt of the track out there to make the catch that ends the inning. Now the Padres put together 3 runs in the inning. The big 2-run single is part of it. And a sac fly as well. It's 3-1. Padres on top.
Hubba. Top of the 7th, 3-1 Padres, and it's time for season preview show. Thursday, Fox Sports San Diego sits down with Andy Green and the Padres for a preview of the 2016 season, including an exclusive one-on-one interview with new hitting coach Alan Zinter, plus an in-depth look at who will patrol center field at Petco Park. And the players share their true feelings about new manager Andy Green Thursday after Giants-Padres on Fox Sports San Diego.
We were left out of that, but Dick Enberg and I break down the infield also, give a little preview of that.
Well,
that's good stuff. It wasn't one of the headlines of that whole thing, but we actually are in the show.
Now, if I had to give a position for you, where could you pick it the best?
I'd say shortstop.
Shortstop?
Yeah.
Really?
Great range. No. I wouldn't belong anywhere out there. I peaked in Little League, second base. That was it.
So did I.
Best. That was the best.
I missed that 200 to center field. I missed that.
3-1, the Padres have the lead thanks to a 3-run bottom of the 6th inning for San Diego. And the new pitcher is Jeff Yardley into the game now for the Padres. Bobby Grossman leading it off here for Cleveland. They're dropping down here on the side. Yardley, a guy they wanted to get another look at coming over from minor league camp and submarine style. Ground ball to second base, and Spangenberg throws to first for the out.
I'll talk to Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, about Yardley, and they brought him over for an appearance at the big league camp here. Really impressed and deserved another opportunity, is what Darren said. And I love this because it's a different look. It's that submarine action from Yardley. Says he's a strike thrower and throws that sinker slider combination. Also has a changeup to go along with it.
It's a much different look, that's for sure. You're used to seeing it come over the top.
Yeah, and so many bullpens, and you hear about the power arms that you get, and these guys are very valuable. It's that different look that you get, and coming in and pitching the inning, pitching a big situation against right-handers. That's a value that you have to have in the bullpen, in my estimation. It's not all velocity at times, and that is scary. But when you have a sidearmer like this could be an interesting guy to watch moving forward.
Aguilar, who homered earlier in the game, rounds this one foul outside of third.
You see the delivery by Yardley, and it's not a sidearm, it's more submarine. But the action and getting ready, it's all movement when it comes to this. It's not velocity when you're down there from the sidearm and submarine action.
Reminds me a little bit of Chad Bradford. Remember that name?
Yes, I do.
He dragged his knuckles across the mound.
I think he got into my knuckles a couple times too.
Two balls, two strikes here to Aguilar with one out. Yardley's first inning of relief took over for Umber, who pitched the sixth inning at a 1-2-3 inning. There's a fly ball out to left center field. Jankowski and Margot. And Margot steps in front of Jankowski and makes the catch, and that was a battle dealing with the high sky and the sunshine here. Two down.
A lot of outfielders using the access of sunglasses, and you see the high sky there, which makes it difficult. Only one tier of stands here. When you get into the big league level, three tiers, which is very different for an outfielder, that depth perception. But you saw Margot and his range. It's pretty good outfielders out there left and right, being able to cover the big fields in Arizona.
Two down for Roberto Perez. Catcher for the Indians, 0 for 2 today. He's grounded back to the mound and grounded out to shortstop. We're going center over towards right center. Big gap out in left center field. See the gap out there in left center for him if he chooses to go in that direction. Yardley, the fourth Padres pitcher of the day. Cashner started 3 shutout innings today. Cashner with 5 strikeouts and a very good outing here today for Cashner.
Yeah, he looked great today, and I love the confidence. Even when Julie was talking to him, you could hear it. The adjustments that Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, and he made in this in-between start sessions, which I think is very important.
You talk about Darren Balsley and how big a part he has become of his life and career, really. It sounds like Balsley, a terrific pitching coach.
And I really believe it's not mechanics, it's not results, it's trust. And he backs his pitchers, which I love that. The good coaches that I had, the hitting coaches I had to work with, I wanted to feel like they had my back in a sense of I'm going in the right direction. That's what Darren Balsley does. He's so positive, but he also has a good balance to his coaching style, which I think is tremendous for this staff.
Ball 4 didn't miss by a lot, but did miss. And Perez down to first base with 2 outs in the inning. So second walk allowed today by Padres pitching, the first by Yardley. Darren Balsley, 14th season as the Padres pitching coach, and it goes through a few managers as well.
I know it's going to come down to Andy Green making pitching decisions, but he's going to look over and have a lot of communication with Darren Balsley. Good feel for his starters. Knowing everything about them is the decision making you're going to have to make in the National League style game. And his consistency here, really, he's built his reputation on hard work.
Two and 0 now. Eric Kratz is going to head out and talk to Eric Yardley here, the pitcher. So he falls behind Ramsey, 2-0.
I think if you look at Yardley and you're seeing that action now, and for sidearmers, when they don't have velocity, sometimes they scare off a little bit. I'm not saying he's doing that, but the tendency is to try to work the corners and nibble a little bit with that slider, the changeup, and also the fastball combination.
That's in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Ramsey's third at bat of the day. He struck out the two previous at bats, both times swinging. On the ground foul outside of first, and it evens up at 2-2.
Well, you see Eric Kratz taking over catching wise, and we've talked about Kristen Bethencourt, also Austin Hedges. This is a veteran catcher that comes as advertised. It's not all offense, which he does have some offense and some power in his bat, but catching is his specialty. Handling pitchers, calling a game, that's his reputation throughout baseball. I think that's a great ad for AJ Preller.
This is driven out towards deep left center field, and that ball is going to get down and jump up off the wall in a hop. Perez coming around from first base, going to try and score, throw to the plate, and Perez will be safe on the slide. As James Ramsey drives in a run for the Cleveland Indians, and it's now 3-2. Long run for Roberto Perez, who was at first base.
Well, you see the hitting by Ramsey, and he looks for that elevated pitch. He gets it, and that's a nice approach to left center. Tendency all the time, especially with that sidewinder action, is to pull, and if you let that ball travel just a little bit longer, that's exactly what he did, and that's a great approach going the other way. You have to commit yourself to that.
Aaron Balsley in and out to the mound quickly, just a 7-second visit. The reason we're even paying attention to the time is, of course, the new rule.
You know, Balsley lost a lot of weight this offseason. Okay. Maybe the 30-second rule got in his dome a little bit.
He's bouncing around to get out there now. Pitch for a strike over the outside corner. Urshela has played very well defensively in this game for the Indians down at third base. 0 for 2 at the plate. Skies it foul off to the right and is down 0-2.
Well, the Indians brought Juan Uribe in to back up Urshela, and I think Urshela's job is there to lose. But offensively, at times, he's had some struggles. But we've seen some great glove work by him today. That's a nice ad for Juan Uribe over here in Cleveland, because he's a clubhouse guy, but also he can give you some thunder off the bench.
This is driven to left field. Back goes Jankowski, and that ball is going to be off the wall. From second base, James Ramsey will score to tie this game. Into second with the RBI double goes Urshela, and it's a 3-3 game. All this coming with 2 outs in the inning for the Indians.
Well, again, elevated pitch, just a little bit. Actually, not a bad pitch. That's good hitting by Urshela. Right off the left field wall. But that young man is defensive first, but if he can hit like that, he's going to play a lot of ball games, be a benefit to the Cleveland Indians.
Here comes Andy Green, going to make the change here, as Yardley started the inning well by getting a ground down to fly out, but a walk and a pair of doubles and 2 quick runs allowed that will end the day for Eric Yardley, as Andy Green takes the baseball. New game now. The game is tied 3-3, still in the midst of the top of the 7th.
Hubba hubba.
2 outs in the top of the 7th and knotted at 3. And as always, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Well done. There's a new pitcher on now for the Padres with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Last year between AA and AAA, Blake Smith into the game.
Yeah, and he transferred into an outfielder for the Dodgers. And it was one of those thoughts, because I was working in the Dodgers organization. It was a pretty powerful right fielder, had a great arm, but they talked about trying to put him on the mound. Well, you see the success there. He's a Rule 5 guy coming into camp with a great opportunity for Blake.
28-year-old, born in Modesto, California, resides here during the offseason. Michael Martinez is taking over at second base, pinch running for the Indians. And there's a fly ball to right field. Falling fast, Blash coming in to make the running catch. Long run for Jabari Blash, who makes a good running catch. That ends the inning. The Indians score 2, tie it up 3-3. Three to 3 the score as we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. It's time now for the Bill Howe play of the game, and it is Alex Dickerson with a 2-run single in the 6th inning. Would score Spangenberg and Myers, and give the Padres a 2-1 lead. They were trailing 1-0 until Dickerson was able to get that base hit. Drive in a pair. 3-3 the score as we head here to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Indians will move on to their 4th pitcher of the day. And it's Adam Rosales who leads it off for San Diego. Sean Morimondo, the new pitcher now for the Tribe. Takes over for Soto, went an inning and gave up those 3 runs that Padres collected in the bottom of the 6th inning.
See the numbers in AA for Morimondo in 28 starts, which typically you'll see a lot of guys that are trying to develop these starters in the minor leagues and get to the big leagues and try to adapt to that bullpen and try to get that major league uniform on.
New battery entirely. Guillermo Quiros is taking over in behind the dish as well, as this one fouled off to the right by Rosales. Rosales from the number 9 spot in the Padres order today has singled to left and struck out swinging. 1 for 2. Soto went an inning, giving up 2 hits, 3 runs, walked the batter, didn't strike anybody out, and Indians are able to come right back with a pair in the top of the 7th. Swing and a miss. Fools Rosales there for the first out of the 7th inning.
Major League Baseball All-Star Week is coming to San Diego this July 8th through the 12th. Register now for the chance to purchase tickets for the allstargame.com. Registration ends April 20th.
Not just the All-Star game, but the entire week is going to be great.
It's going to be great. So excited. You see those uniforms that they made that they're going to wear this year for the All-Star game.
Sharply at the third, picked down there by Martinez, off to his left. He throws out Kratz at first base. Hot shot, but nicely handled. Urshela comes out of the game, and Martinez is down there picking it at third.
Yeah, you come off the bench, you don't have anywhere to stretch, and you get in there, and there's a hot shot down to third base. It's going to find you. Found me a lot.
Here's Emerista at bat for the first time today. This had been Corey Spangenberg's spot in the order, and Emerista took over. Now bats for the first time, batting with 2 down, bases empty. Look at his year last year, 118 games. Fly ball to left field. Shane Robinson running on a slant towards the line, puts it away. Orlando has a good 1-2-3 inning. We're headed for the 8th, all tied at 3.
During the
As we head into the top of the 8th, tied 3-3, I'm here with Cory Brock, veteran Padres beat writer and MLB.com contributor. Now, Cory, after 9 years with the Padres, you're moving on, but you're staying with MLB.com.
Yeah, I have a new opportunity with MLB.com. It's going to allow me and my family to move back to the Northwest where we're from. You know, we have the 2.5-year-old boys, twin boys, Carson and Bennett, the Brocklets. So we're moving back to where there's more family. So it's really exciting and a little sad, too. San Diego was a home for us. We got married there. We had our boys there, but it's kind of time for a different chapter.
Well, I know a lot of Padres fans look forward to reading your notes and your articles every single day coming out here to the ballpark. So of all of the seasons you've covered the Padres, what is that one standout memory that you have from this team?
You know, it was probably my first year, 2007. You know, I used to cover the Mariners, and I literally, Julie, crossed the parking lot over here in Peoria where the Mariners facility is to the Padres, and met Bud Black. He was a first-year manager, and that was a very good year for the Padres. Got all the way to game 163, probably one of the best games I've ever covered in Colorado against the Rockies. And certainly there's probably been more low points and high points in terms of the success of the team. But, you know, I've enjoyed every minute of it. My whole thing is, you know, good storytelling, presenting maybe a look behind the curtain as to what goes on with the team. And I've had a blast.
Well, you've done an incredible job. Thank you so much, and we appreciate it. And good luck to you in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. You know, part of taking this job this year has been learning a new organization for me. And I went back and I read so many of Cory Brock's articles, and he really helped me without even probably knowing it, get used to this organization, understand this organization, and learn about the stories and things that have happened here. He did such a great job for so many years, and we're certainly going to miss him.
Well, Don, you understand, too, when you're in an organization, and he's been 9 years here and adapted to so many situations. We can't thank Cory enough for all of us at Fox Sports San Diego and everyone in the organization with the Padres. He's spectacular. He's first class, but I love the fact that he's going back home, and you can see it. The family really means so much to him. So we wish him all the best, and we thank him for everything he's done. We'll see him down the road because he's going to be part of baseball as always.
No doubt. Great writer, great dad. One out here, and here is Jose Ramirez batting for the fourth time today, 0 for 3. So he's got a lot of English on it and will go foul. Right down that grass line, the third base line. It kicks out. There's Jamal Weeks, who has just checked in defensively at third base for the Padres.
Well, again, we're seeing Blake Smith come out for a second inning after getting the last out in the seventh. And that big breaking ball that you're seeing, he has a complement of a fastball, curveball, and changeup. But that breaking ball is a put-away pitch and a swing and miss pitch.
He's able to strike out Gonzalez to begin things here in the eighth inning. Retired both batters he's faced. He got the last out of last inning. Now it evens at 2-2.
Yeah, Don, so many times you don't get to 2 strikes to throw that breaking ball. You get some aggressive hitters that stay on your fastball early in the count. But for Blake Smith, trying to get that mesh of when to throw that breaking ball for a strike, when to have the put-away pitch.
To right field, Blash on the run, and he's not going to get there. Drops in front of him. He'll pick it barehanded out there on a hop, and a one-out single for Ramirez. So one out, runner at first base, and there is Colin Cowgill for the first time today. He took over in center field for Venable. So Cowgill batting for the first time. Venable today had been 0 for 3. Strikeout, ground out, and a fly out today. For the first, and relatively close, but diving back safely was Ramirez. The move there by Blake Smith seemed to catch Ramirez off balance.
Well, very athletic move. You see the quick feet by Blake Smith and a nice accurate throw to Noonan. Being right-handed probably hindered him to putting that tag on, because if you're a left-hander, let that ball travel just a little bit longer and it's an easier tag.
In there for a strike to Cowgill. Cowgill, a longtime Angel, broke into the big leagues with the Arizona Diamondbacks, time with the Mets, but most of his major league career with the Angels. 29-year-old. In the air, popped up. There's the second baseman Shrimp on the outfield grass. 2 down in the inning.
I think you have to, with a four-seam fastball, be able to pitch at the top of the strike zone, especially when you have that good breaking ball, the good curveball by Blake Smith. Because if you start dropping that curveball in, then you can pitch at the top of the strike zone, get swings like that from Cowgill.
So 2 down in the inning. Ramirez still at first base. There's Joey Butler pinch hitting for Robbie Grossman. Butler, who spent the bulk of last year in the majors with the Tampa Bay Rays, did spend time at AAA Durham. Total of 88 games as a member of the Rays. 276 average a season ago. It's claimed by the Indians off waivers from Tampa Bay in December of this past offseason. Swing and a miss.
Well, one of Butler's biggest moments last year is breaking up a no-hitter against the Cleveland Indians. Carrasco was on the mound trying to look for that no-hitter, and he broke it up. So why not claim him? Get him on your squad.
It's amazing how that happens sometimes. Look at guys that, for whatever reason, wear out another organization. Sometime later on, as a free agent, end up with that organization.
Yeah, you look at their career numbers. He's 356. And he's a 240 hitter on the rest.
Yeah. 2 outs, runner at first base, and a tie game here in the 8th. Line foul.
Don, you watch pitching, and there's so much to it. It's not just throwing strikes and having the repertoire. It's having the ability to hold runners. Blake Smith, we've seen in this inning, holding runners, having a good move, the hold right there, and the good breaking ball. Very impressive by Blake, because he's that transformed outfielder, as I said, to a pitcher. Looks very comfortable on the mound.
Bit high, and it's 1-2. Amazed me over the years how uncomfortable a lot of guys are with the slide step and kind of changing their delivery, not getting the quality pitch they want to get because of the slide step.
Yeah, how you quicken it up and how you get your arm to that spot. Those are some of the things that really makes you, it refines you as a pitcher.
In the dirt, gathered by Kratz. Hops up ready to throw. No advance for Ramirez at first base. Butler at big league time also at Texas, St. Louis, as well as Tampa Bay, and actually spent time in Japan back in 2014. Fouled off to the right, out of play. We'll do it again, 2-2.
Yes, I heard Kratz looking inside there, and that ball leaked over the center of the plate. But setting up hitters, that's what you rely on, especially with a veteran catcher like Kratz. Calling a game, trying to give them different looks, different angles. They set him up inside. Let's see if they go back to the breaking ball here. He's asking for that fastball in again.
Runner goes, pitches high from his knees. Kratz makes the throw, and it's not going to get there as a stolen base for Ramirez into scoring position with 2 outs here in the 8th.
The replay, a high fastball he throws from the knees. Just didn't get much on it, but I think that stolen base was against Smith.
So 2 down, runner in scoring position now. Butler with a good at bat right now, full count. And he has battled, taking some pitches, fouled some pitches off. This is high, and that's ball 4. Butler down to first base with 2 outs here in the inning. First walk allowed by Blake Smith since coming into the game. Brings up Jesus Aguilar, who's had a good day. Homered back in the 4th inning. Run out to left center field onto the berm. Here comes Darren Balsley quickly out of the dugout, headed to the mound.
You see the clock, too. 27. Yeah, he's going. Get out there.
Took him only 6 seconds to reach the dirt of the hill.
Hurry up and talk. He's got a little pep in his step. This is a good breather for Blake Smith, too, and just another reminder of your pitch away. Man, are they going to love him in MLB or not? That way, balls.
Wrap up his conversation in 20 seconds or less. First and second, 2 down. And Aguilar ready to step in here on the right side. Be the 3rd year for Aguilar in Cleveland. Last year at 316 as he fouls this one back above us. Just grabbing the ricochet by a fan standing in the aisleway.
Oh, and you got to love it. He gives it to his daughter, picks her up, and that's a big hug. You got to love that. Playing it off the carom here is a little tough. Spectacular play by the fan, and gives the ball to his daughter.
Yeah, if you come to a ball game here at Peoria Stadium, you got to be mindful of the ricochet. There's a snap throw to second base, trying to catch him napping at second, and able to get back is Ramirez. Kratz came up throwing.
Oh, the intangibles, and you can see sometimes you lull those guys to sleep. Putting that pick play on. Never know if it's going to help, too, just keeping that runner closer to second base, possibly on a RBI situation.
Cued foul over by the Padres dugout, and it's 1-2. Aguilar last year spending the bulk of the year AAA Columbus. 19 home runs, 93 runs batted in. Waiting on a 1-2 pitch, 2 down. The Indians have 2 on. Aguilar jumps out of the way, gets away from Kratz, and everybody's going to move up. Ramirez to third, and Butler to second base on the wild pitch.
It's like Blake Smith overthrows this curveball, and you see it spiked on the other side, almost backs up on Kratz. Tough ball to block.
So now second and third in this tie game with 2 down. Reaches out, protects the plate, and fouls it off to the right out of play. Inning started with Gonzalez striking out. Ramirez singled to right field, got a second on a stolen base. Cowgill popped out, a walk for Joey Butler. Wild pitch getting runners to second and third. And has Blake Smith in a jam right now.
See if he goes to that fastball in here.
That's a by him. Strikes him out. And his second strikeout strands a pair for the Indians. Still tied 3-3. Back in Arizona. What is going on there? This guy just kind of hanging out on the rocks.
I didn't know you had a cowboy hat.
Cubs Padres Tuesday 1 p.m. our next televised game here on Fox Sports San Diego. I'll be working with Mark Grant, right?
Oh, Mud's coming back. I love it. You had the first 2 games with Dick Enberg, and it's your first experience with Mark Grant.
It'll be my first chance to work with Mark Grant.
It's going to be fun.
Nick Noonan leading it off here for the Padres in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Noonan kind of got jammed, and he flips this out to center field for a base hit to get the bottom of the 8th inning started.
Well, I'm a big fan of Nick Noonan. I love his approach. You can see it left on left. He doesn't square this up. It's a nice approach to the center of the field. He didn't get the barrel to the baseball, but he's a consistent approach, and he looks ready to me. And he's locked in. One of those guys that has to be ready coming into spring training and pressing the staff, and I like his approach and his at-bats.
So Noonan at first base held on. Here is Travis Jankowski. He's showing bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball one. Charging in from third, Michael Martinez anticipating the bunt. That sacrifice bunt his first time up. So has already been asked to bunt once in this game. He pulls it back again, 2-0.
Yeah, as a bunter, when you know you're not sacrificing, you pull it back, you start visually looking where you think that you want to put that ball down. I think he's going to take this ball with him. The lefty on the mound, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes it towards first base.
A drag bunt as he takes a strike this time.
I think the reason for that is if he puts the sacrifice bunt down that right side, with his speed, he has an opportunity to beat that out. Third base pinched in. Martinez coming in, expecting that bunt.
They'll check at first base on Noonan. Back to the bag. The first baseman is Nelson Rodriguez in the game here now for the Indians. Still Sean Morimondo on the mound, his second inning of relief for the Indians. Very high. That went up by the bill of his helmet. Been trying to bunt on every pitch, but the count now 3-1.
Now, this might be a situation too where during the year you're going to put a sacrifice bunt down, but they might let Jankowski swing away on a 3-1 count.
You're right. It's fouled off to the left out of play. Took it off there, and the hitters count of 3-1.
Yeah, midseason, I would think that you're probably putting it down no matter what with a 3-3 ball game. Travis Jankowski got himself in a position with a 3-1 count to be able to get a better pitch to hit at.
Now a payoff pitch. And foul ball off to the left. That's sharply hit back into the seats.
Well, Travis Jankowski's trying that leg kick to incorporate his lower half just a little bit more. He's got to sync that up a little bit. Sometimes that takes some time to get it finished. The swing path looks good. Just getting them all together in sync is very important.
Is that something he did not do in the past?
Yeah, he was basically stationary and didn't use his lower half too much. Has really good hands, good path to the ball. That's a nice at bat by Travis.
Ends up taking the walk here, and the first two Padres have reached here in the 8th inning. So a single and a walk to begin this 8th inning. Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, coming out here for the Indians to talk with Morimondo. Alex Dickerson will be the next batter, so he'll head down and talk to Glenn Hoffman here.
Well, last time against a left-hander, Alex Dickerson had a great approach and shot that line drive in the left center for 2 RBIs. I don't think Alex is going to be asked to lay a bunt down here in this situation, especially in spring training. He got the ability to have a 3-run home run, but also drive the ball in the gap.
I'm guessing he probably hasn't done a lot of bunting in the course of his career.
You know, that really is a great point, because you think about the minor leagues, Alex Dickerson is thought to probably hit 3rd, 4th, or 5th in most orders. Now you're trying to win a spot on the club. I think he's swinging early.
Shows bunt here and takes a pitch for a ball. May have been just showing. It's down to Glenn Hoffman again.
Well, in on the corners, you see him active in the middle of the diamond.
Well, he's going to get it down the third baseline, but it kicks foul, and it's 1-1 now.
Well, it really shows what they want to try to look for, and if you're going to be a bench player, which Alex Dickerson's going to be asked to do, you have to do the little things. It's not an excuse to say that in minor leagues you didn't bunt. You have to go out there. There's a bunting field out here. You have to work on your craft to do the little things that you're asked to in the middle of a ball game.
1 ball, 1 strike now to him. Noonan at second base, Jankowski at first. In the dirt, nicely picked there by Quiros, the catcher. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen a bunting field. They actually have a bunting field here. Is that something that's normal around Major League Baseball as far as spring training goes?
Well, what I heard is Andy Green, he came here, he said, where's the bunting field? And they have a half field, but that's for really the infielders. Right. But there was he wanted it applied there, and I love it because you have to do that. I think a lot of it has to do with doing the little things. Also, the National League, the pitchers have to bunt.
This one bunted out again, foul off the bat, and it is now 2-2.
I think it's attention to detail. We've talked about it all along of what happens with Andy Green and what he wants to do for focus and taking ownership of everything. Well, bunting is a part of the National League style game. I think Andy Green's going to implement that.
I would say it is a 30 by 30 foot area that is fenced in all the way around. It has a mini diamond.
Yeah.
And that's it, because I walked through it. It's part of a pathway to get from one field to the other. And I'm walking through it. There's a fly ball headed out towards right center field. And Cowgill makes his way in and under to make the catch. He'll fire it back in to advance for the base runners. And to be honest, when I was walking through it, I was trying to figure out what it was. It was almost like a little league setup. And I'm like, what's going on here? It wasn't until day 2 when I saw guys actually bunting, practicing this real fenced-in area, very small.
There's 2 things, too. I love that the fans can interact right around that fence
right there,
and add a little bit of an anxiety to some of the guys that are bunting.
Yeah.
So that might be something that's pretty important. But also, Maury Wills for the Dodgers had a Maury's Pit. It was a bunting facility.
Pitching change here for the Indians. It's 3-3 right now. Back here in Peoria, and he's got a checklist here. Picture win. It looks like he's got one of them checked off already. Will Myers, on his birthday, signed it for him on his 8th birthday. That's pretty cool.
That's nice of Will. I love signs. It's great. Youngsters coming to the ballpark. Derek Norris signed it as well. I think that's great. So you get some access here to the players, and it really is a fun environment.
Totally different atmosphere here during spring trainings, no doubt about it. And for fans who make their way out to either Florida or Arizona, great take as Felipe Paulino into the game now for the Indians. Comes in with 2 on, 1 away here in the 8th inning. Manuel Margot, the batter. He pinch ran for Derek Norris, who doubled in the 6th inning. So first plate appearance today for Margot. Tie game here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Noonan at second base, Jankowski at first with 1 out. And a swing and a miss, kind of waved at that pitch. Just kind of fooled it was by him, 1-1.
Well, for Manny Margot, and what you've seen is a lot of line drive approach. Watching his batting practice, he's very methodical in what he wants to try to do. Good backspin on the baseball. This young man's going to come into his own, and it's really staying in the strike zone and seeing those breaking pitches just like that. Recognizing the breaking ball, because up here at the big league level, you're going to see a different shape, different size. Also curveballs and sliders and cutters. Yes, you see that in the minor leagues, but they're not refined at that level.
He's only 21 years old. Grabs the outside corner, evens the count at 2-2. Originally signed by the Red Sox as an international free agent in July of 2011. Of course, part of the Craig Kimbrel deal. It took place on November 13th. A ball and double A for Margot last year. Strike three call. He goes looking, and that's a big out for Paulino. 2 down here in the 8th inning.
I see the big right-hander. He got the fastball for strike 2, and then he goes to that breaking pitch on the outside part to get Margot looking at strike 3.
2 on, 2 down. Ryan Shrimp had taken over at second base. Takes a look at ball 1.
I think that Craig Kimbrel trade, and there's other pieces other than Manny Margot. Carlos Aswaye, who got optioned down to the minor leagues, a utility infielder. Logan Allen, a left-hander, only 19 years old.
Javier Guerra in there as well, shortstop.
And high praise already in camp for that shortstop. And yes, it's going to take some time. They're going to have to develop, but restocking this system is very important to try to build that structure that AJ Preller's talking about.
Went around, according to home plate umpire Stu Shemwater.
I think moving forward too, Don, is this draft is pretty important for the San Diego Padres. They have a lot of picks early in the draft, and they know the importance of that. So the structure being set is going to be helpful going into that June draft.
Missing for ball 3, 3-1. Jabari Blash waiting on deck, but there are 2 outs here in the Padres' 8th inning. Single and a walk began the inning, but a fly out and a strikeout. Now has 2 down with 2 men on. Pickoff play at second base, and just back safely there's Noonan. Pretty good bid. Almost had him.
They see the good spin move. Just barely in there with the right hand.
Noonan regains his lead at second base. Jankowski at first base. 3-1 pitch coming here for Ryan Shrimp. And he'll take the walk to load the bases. So 2 walks in the inning allowed by Indians pitching. The first charge to Felipe Paulino. And the Padres have him loaded here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A big chance here for Jabari Blash in his 4th at bat of the day. Bases filled with Padres here with 2 down in the 8th inning.
Well, evaluation time again. Another big situation for Jabari Blash. See his day 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Takes ball 1.
Now for Paulino, and looks like that plate's moving around on him a little bit for offensively for Blash. Look over the center of the plate. Look for that mistake.
One 1-0 pitch. That's high now, 2-0. A late day start today. Well, not a late day, but a later day start. A 2:30 start time, local time here in Arizona. And the shadows now creeping over home plate. The pitcher's mound still in the sunshine. Two-0. And a swing and a miss. Just challenged him there and got it by him.
I see the frustration by Blash after that swing. But again, a high fastball. This isn't a pitch. It's got to be in that small little window of box when you have bases loaded in 2-0.
Too far inside. Blash now ahead 3-1.
That's a good take. Now you got to cut your swing down. Even if it's a 3-1 count, you don't need a home run here. You need a nice, solid single. Work the middle of the field.
Bases filled with Padres. 2 down here in the 8th in a tie game. And Blash will take the walk, and the go-ahead run comes in from third base. Back-to-back walks allowed by Paulino. Good plate coverage there, and really discipline there for Blash. We talked about it for him, trying to discipline himself and not swinging at some bad pitches, and did a good job there.
And Don, you look at it, 2-0, he got out of the strike zone with that high fastball, and then he locked it right back in again. That's a good at bat, especially in a big situation.
So the Padres take a 4-3 lead on the bases loaded walk for Jabari Blash. Here's Jemile Weeks. He'll take strike 1. First plate appearance for Weeks. Took over at third base for Adam Rosales. Rosales today had been 1 for 3 with a single back in the 3rd inning. Line to right field. It is a fair ball. From third base scoring is Jankowski. And Shrimple scoring behind him. 2 runs in now for the Padres, who take a 6-3 lead. A 2-run single to right field for Jemile Weeks.
Don, you got to love this batting by Weeks, because he takes a first pitch strike. He gets himself in a position to drive this baseball, and that's exactly what he does. He serves it into right field, and that's professional at bat. Take a look at the side swing. He gets his foot down. Very short stroke to the ball. Looked like he was off the end just a little bit, but gets it into right field. That's a big insurance runs. And a nice approach by Weeks.
Now, Jemile Weeks, one of the guys trying to catch on here as a utility infielder. As John Jay had led off this game in the leadoff spot, Kratz now batting in his spot. Runner goes at first base. They'll just let him go. No throw. Jemile Weeks steals second base.
You see the break by Weeks. That's in his game. That's in his arsenal. One of the weapons that he brings to the club.
With the retirement of Skip Schumacher, one of the guys that back in the mix here for a utility spot. Kratz goes lunging after that, finds himself down 0-2.
Yeah, that's going to be something that just gives opportunity. And Weeks is in the conversation. And Marista has to step up as we see Nick Vincent, the right-hander, getting loose.
That's the 8th member of the Padres to bat here in the 8th inning. So far a 3-run inning. And all the runs coming with 2 outs in the inning for San Diego. That's first time up. Grounded out to third base. Outside, ball 1.
Well, with that hit by Weeks, 7 for 15. So he's showing very well offensively. Showing his speed on the base pass. We've also seen him move around the diamond, up both short, second, and third base. But I think he's going to have to show a little bit more at shortstop.
1-2 pitch up and on, and Kratz gets hit. Nowhere to go there, and he's hit by Paulino.
This rides up and in. You never want to see this, especially in spring training. It looks like he got his back arm. You know those catchers, those tough catchers, they're not going to show it. They're going to go down to first base. That's what Kratz does.
So bases reloaded now for the Padres. Brings up Amarista. Flat out to left field in the 7th inning. 0 for 1 since coming into the game. Padres on top now 6-3. It's been a 3-run bottom of the 8th inning to this point, and chance for more as Amarista takes ball 1. Runs that have scored in this inning, 2 charged to Morimondo, who left the game, and Paulino, who came in, has been charged with 1 of his own. There's strike 1, 1-1. To the left out play, 1-2. And Blast with a big walk with the bases loaded. Now at third base. Jamal Weeks at second base. And Eric Kratz was hit by a pitch at first base. A little bit high, and it's 2-2. Has struggled since coming in. He has walked 2, given up a hit a batter, and a strikeout mixed in. But to this point, it's not been a comfortable outing for the right-hander. Now backs off. Quiros going through the signs once again. And Marista hits it on the ground to third. Martinez will go across the diamond to first for the out that ends the inning. But the damage has been done. The Padres score 3 times, take a 6-3 lead to the 9th.
There's a lot to see at Nissan now.
Aguilar got the scoring started with a home run back in the 4th inning. Hitting it off Drew Pomerantz. The Indians a 1-0 lead. The Padres would have a big 6th inning, scoring 3 times. And that's Jefferson with a big hit there. It scored 2 runs with his base hit to left field. But the Indians come back right away, and they scored twice in the 7th inning. Able to get to the Padres pen a little bit. Eric Yardley ran into some trouble. He was charged with the 2 runs. All of a sudden, it was 3-3 through 7 innings. But the Padres come back with 3 of their own in the bottom of the 8th inning. A big hit for Jamal Weeks. He would drive in 2 insurance runs. Jankowski and Shrimp both scoring on that base hit to right field. And San Diego takes a 6-3 lead into the 9th inning. And the new pitcher is Nick Vincent.
Yeah, Nick Vincent last year went through a couple problems, sent down a couple times. But this year coming back with a different repertoire. And also an uptick on his velocity a little bit, but it's not just fastball, cutter, and slider. He's doing the 2-seamer, and he's introduced that changeup a little bit more. I think that's going to benefit him. A lot of the hitters tended to look out over the plate if you're right-handers, in if you're a left-hander. And looked like Nick got in some problems last year just trying to get to that out pitch.
Takes over for Blake Smith. Now the pitcher record for the Padres. Guillermo Quiros, the catcher who took over 2 innings ago behind the dish. For Roberto Perez, started the game as the catcher. This is a fly ball to left field. Jankowski makes his way over into the shadows and makes the catch for the first out here in the 9th inning.
Now, you talked about his cutter last year, and Darren Balsey said, you're going to see some two-seamers to right-handers. You're going to see that changeup. Just added weapons that Nick Vincent's going to have. He could be an integral part of this bullpen.
It's one of the interesting things in spring training this year for the San Diego Padres is how they build that bullpen. A lot of jobs open heading into the spring.
A lot of jobs and a lot of opportunity. And I think when they leave camp here, it's going to be resolved, and it's going to be a very strong suit for this club.
James Ramsey takes a strike. A double his last time up, a 1-for-3 day. A couple of strikeouts at the plate for the Indians DH today.
Here's the changeup. Good action on that.
Nick Vincent, another local product.
Ramona. Was such a good story when he came up and was dominating out of the bullpen 2 years ago. Last year went through some adjustments.
Good pitch, and he strikes out Ramsey. Makes quick work of him, and there are 2 outs in the 9th inning.
And before, you'd go to this cutter in this situation. This is a 4-seam fastball at the top of the strike zone. Had some running action as well.
So 2 down here in the 9th inning, and brings up Michael Martinez. He pinch ran in the 7th inning after Ursula left the game after doubling. He's made a couple of nice plays down there at third base defensively as he takes strike 1. Swing and a miss, 0-2, off balance.
First pitch changeup and then a fastball in top of the hands.
A fly out, a strikeout for Vincent. Now he's ahead 0-2. Fly ball left field. Jankowski on the move. Gets there to make the catch, and the Padres win. Well, the Padres come away with a 6-3 victory over the Cleveland Indians. We'll step aside and come back to Peoria right after this.